Let's stay with the story and speak to our reporter Natasha Phiri. Natasha, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. The ANC Youth League task team calling this opportunistic. Did they succeed in their bid to protect Luthuli House, as they said?
Definitely, in their own words, they did succeed in protecting Luthuli House, as there was no violence like we saw in 2014. We were just talking off air about, that march that actually took place where Helen Zille had led thousands of DA members to Luthuli House, to protest over the issue of jobs. And of course, we saw there 3 men had pelted some DA members with stones and subsequently were arrested. One of them being Silos Koko, who's currently the regional treasurer of the ANC in the city of Ekurhuleni, but we didn't see those scenes, of 2014. There was an attempt where DA members had actually tried to cross the road, and of course ANC members had then run after them with their shambox, but that incident was quickly arrested. So no scenes of violence this time around. However, the DA did not march to the ANC's headquarters. Instead, they went a street after at the Bears Nordea Square,
which is, of course, reminiscent once again of, what happened in 2014. But let's talk, Natasha, about, the ANC. Ultimately, at the same time, despite who is marching here, South Africans are upset about the rolling blackouts. Did they at least concede that, seeing this particular march could also be the temperature, the thermometer of how, South Africans may be feeling when it comes to this issue of rolling blackouts?
No, definitely, Bongio, you're quite right. I mean, the sentiments of the ANC Youth League are that they've been calling for this problem to be fixed. They've been calling for the ANC deployees who are actually deployed in charge of Eskom to actually be fired. They further called for the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, to be fired. And quite interestingly, when members of the ANC Youth League national task team had briefed ANC members and members of the media outside Luthuli House, they had said that they are going to protect Minister Gwede Mantashe. And Bonnie, it's quite interesting because you would remember, you were working over this weekend on Saturday. We heard the ANC chairperson Gwede Mantashe saying that there are some concerted efforts, to ensure that Eskom is not placed under his custodianship. And that's quite interesting because you would remember this was a conference resolution coming out of the policy conference. I beg your pardon, coming out of the conference of the ANC, like we saw on January 8th. It was a conference resolution that Eskom must be placed under the Ministry of Mineral Resources and Energy, and subsequently members of the ANC Youth League coming out saying, hands off Gwede Mantashe, they will protect him, but instead Pravin Gordhan must go. But also, members of the ANC Youth League saying that enough is enough. Unemployed youth are being impacted from this energy crisis, but not only the unemployed, businesses and ordinary South Africans, as a whole are being impacted, as well as the economy of the country. They have also detailed the plans to actually march to the Eskom offices. And when speaking to the organizer of the National Youth Task Team, she had said that that march is planned for the 3rd of February. They also plan to march to nurses' offices, and also they want to engage with, captains of industries, young people, young professionals, to somewhat compile a dossier or a document, with solutions of this energy crisis, saying that when they march to the Eskom offices, they need to then hand over this memorandum. We've heard the likes of the ANC Youth League chairperson in Limpopo, Tony, saying that Andre Director must actually leave now and not in March. Why wait till then? But basically, young people are saying enough is enough. They've been calling for the problems of Eskom to be fixed. It's the onus now is upon the leadership of Eskom. The onus is also, on the public and also the DA as well, to actually come up with solutions to actually fight this problem. We heard the ANC Youth League saying that the march of the DA to Luthuli House is misguided and mischievous. And instead of them marching there, they should be marching to the offices of Eskom. We also heard, young people in the ANC actually inviting the DA to the dialogue of the ANC that the ANC is having over the energy crisis. crisis that is currently taking place right now at the University of Johannesburg. But I do know that young people are also planning, before they march to Eskom, to also hold another energy dialogue to find solutions to this problem that is gripping the country, that is plunging the country into darkness and costing the economy millions, if not billions of rands.
And really, Natasha, you know, there's been a lot of criticism leveled against the governing party, that they're not speaking like a party that is in government, like they're speaking as if it's ordinary South Africans who are in the periphery, standing, watching what is happening. Now, if they still are talking about these particular dialogues, does the ANC Youth League still believe that this is still the time for talking? And if they're still going to be looking for solutions, is this a signal, according to them, that the plan that has been put together by their own deployee, who's the president of the ANC, working with the other stakeholders, as they call them, that plan is simply not sufficient? Is that why now they're running their own parallel process, as it were?
Well, the message basically from the ANC Youth League to the leaders of the ANC, to the ANC president, to the president, is that, listen, pick up your socks. They've been crying as young people, saying that these problems need to be fixed. I mean, just speaking to Klani Mokhale earlier on, she had said that it's all good that the ANC has got solutions on paper, has got all these, policies that are very good on paper. But the problem here, Bonyu, is the implementation of these policies. Time and time again, you have the ANC saying this, we will do this, we will do this. But the problem is implementation. And the problem is that there's no form of accountability. I mean, it seems as if their deployees can just go into office. If they don't perform, there is no form of accountability. Those deployees do not get booted out of office. And the ANC Youth League says it's high time they do something. It's high time members of the ANC actually act upon this. And this is not only, something they just woke up and said, okay, it must happen now. You would remember at the policy conference last year, there was a video clip that was doing the rounds where the spokesperson of the ANC's NYTT, Sizopila Mkhize, had said that, listen, we've deployed certain ANC cadres or members to these positions, but it seems as if they're doing nothing. Whatever happened to consequence management? So, I mean, as members of the ANC Youth League, as young lions, they've been saying that we've been raising these issues, but it seems as if they've been falling on deaf ears. The hope now for these young people is that the new National Executive Committee, which comprises largely of young people, will somewhat really do something different and really effect change in a sense that they could actually see. And it shouldn't be the same rhetoric that we've been seeing over and over and over again.
And as you say, Natasha, a lot of South Africans are looking to see where these solutions will lie, because there's been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of suggestions for solutions, but what is going to be implemented? An interesting one. Thank you so much for that, Natasha. Do appreciate it. That is our reporter, Natasha Phiri, who was stationed outside Luthuli House throughout the march by the DA this morning.